sexy episode of News You Might Have Missed. I'm your host, Tom Lord, and on this show, which I didn't think was going to happen, we've got a mighty mix of eclectic excerpts ranging from news outlets, blogs, and tabloid rags based around the globe. On today's show, we've got a man has been fined after trying to body slam a killer whale, a UK paranormal expert claims the UK is running out of ghosts, and North Korea has sent balloons to South Korea entirely filled with rubbish. But first, a brewery in Lincolnshire was forced to unplug their phones after their beer went viral. According to the BBC, a beer named after Osama bin Laden has sold out after going viral on social media, with staff at the Mitchell Brewing Company having to unplug their phones and close their website temporarily because of demand for Osama bin Lager. The company of Billingham, Lincolnshire, also brews a beer called Kim Jong Ale, and also a Putin Porter. And Luke Mitchell, co-owner, said, "They're all tongue-in-cheek names, a nicer outlook on some horrible dictators." Husband and wife Luke Catherine Mitchell run the brewery and the pub, and after the beer went viral, they said, "We've woken up the last couple of mornings with thousands and thousands and thousands of notifications. It's been crazy. The phone just hasn't stopped for the last 48 hours. And they further added, "As far as I'm aware, no one's been offended, but I'm sure there's someone out there quite right to. No one should be offended by a bit of wordplay." Now, if they'd done an advert where two planes hit two very large pints and it had the tagline, "We terrorise refreshment," well, someone won't be reading my mind. A man has been fined after trying to body slam a killer whale. Thank you, motorbike. According to NBC News, a New Zealand man has been fined over a social media video in which he tries to body slam an orca swimming next to his boat, in what officials have called stupid and extremely irresponsible behaviour. A member of the public alerted the Department of Conservation to the video, and Principal Investigation Officer Hayden Loper said it left officials genuinely stunned. And Loper further said, "Orca are immensely powerful animals, and this really could have ended horribly, with either the startled whale being injured or the man responsible being harmed by the aggravated animal." The department said the man had now been fined $600 New Zealand dollars. I can think of many animals to attempt to body slam on. A vole, a badger, or a sad-looking puppy on one of those charity adverts, but a killer whale? You must be mad. You've as much chance of succeeding as P. Diddy has being the NSPCC honorary spokesman. British drinkers are losing £114 a year due to short measures. According to The Standard, more than 2/3 of beer and wine served in UK pubs and bars is short measured. Officers who visited 77 pubs and bars were served 96 short measures out of 137 orders, meaning approximately 70% were less than the prescribed quantity required for pints, half pints, and 175ml glasses of wine. Of the cheeky little shorts like vodka and rum, 41 were under by 5% or more. And the average deficit for short measured beer was 4%, while for wine it was 5%. And for the average beer drinker, not the pros ofs, this equates to a loss of £1.70 a week, or £88.40 a year. And for an average wine drinker, this jumps to £2.20 a week, or £114 a year. £88.40. So you're saying I could have had 6 extra pints in London? Does the king know about this? I mean, this sounds like it's the sort of thing that we used to cut people's heads off for. Sod blowing up Parliament, this deserves a yearly bonfire. A flock of 100 feral chickens are terrorising a village in Norfolk. According to The Guardian, the clucking nuisance of about 100 feral chickens has left residents of a Norfolk village spitting feathers. Cheeky pun, with locals claiming the birds destroy their gardens and keep them awake. Dwellers in Snettisham in Norfolk have said that their life is being made hell after chickens swarm in from a nearby wood. They've also complained of an influx of people travelling to see the birds and leaving food for them, which is attracting rats. Rob Mackenzie, a parish councillor, said, "They're a pain in the butt. If they come into your garden, they dig everything up." And another Ben King said he had to wear earplugs to sleep at night because of their constant crowing. He further said, "They're out of control now. There's not just one or two, but others don't agree." Graham McCade said, "I have no issues with the chickens whatsoever. Before we moved here, we didn't know chickens got up at 4 AM, but it gives character to the place." And the legendary dog walker said people in the new houses are moaning about it, but they've been here such a long time, and there's more important things going on in the world than a few chickens. They should get a life. Isn't this like Aurora Locado, with chickens delivering themselves to your doorway? Get them eaten if they bother you that much. I mean, 100 birds is a ton of chicken nuggets. A Nigerian scammer tried to auction off Elvis Presley's former house. According to The Independent, a self-described scammer based in Nigeria has taken credit for a bizarre failed attempt to auction off Elvis's iconic Graceland property. Earlier this month, a mysterious company with little paper trail, Nusoni Investments and Private Lending, contacted Promenade Trust, which controls the Memphis estate, claiming it owed millions for failing to repay a loan. The company then attempted to auction off the property in a foreclosure sale. Riley Keough, Elvis's granddaughter, who inherited Graceland after her mother Lisa Marie Presley died last year, sued Nusoni on the 15th of May. She claims her mother's signatures on the documents were forgeries and that Nusoni is not a real company. She also asked the judge to block the Graceland auction, who granted her request. And on Tuesday, the apparent perpetrator of the scheme was revealed when the Times New York reported that an individual based in Nigeria with an Nusoni associated email address contacted them and took credit for it. The individual said he and his associates typically scam the vulnerable and elderly. The Times also reported that the email was written in Luganda, a language spoke in Uganda. And the individual said, "We figure out how to steal. That's what we do. I had fun figuring this one out, and it didn't succeed very well. I thought Nigerian scammers usually tell you you've inherited millions, not that you owe millions. What is the world coming to, eh? I like my Indian scammers from Talk, and my Nigerian scammers telling me I had a long-lost granddad who somehow ruled an area Idi Amin couldn't keep. Embrace tradition, guys. Reject modernity." A teenager who fell down a 400-foot canyon has walked away with only minor injuries. According to NBC News, a teenager who plunged 400 feet from a dangerous canyon in Washington state over Memorial Day weekend walked away with only minor injuries. Authorities said the teen was walking along a former trail beneath the High Steel Bridge, one of the tallest railroad bridges in the US, when he fell. And Tim Ripp, a Mason County Sheriff's Patrol Corporal, said, "We've told people to stay off these trails because they're dangerous, but people either haven't seen the warning signs or are disregarding it." And authorities have not identified the teen, who sustained only scrapes to both his arms, but NBC affiliate King of Seattle reported that he is 19 years old and obviously made of rubber. What a lucky git. I twist my ankle going down the stairs and I'm injured for a month. Someone needs to get the DNA of this guy and craft some sort of canyon-proof super child. I mean, sure, it'll be against God, but I've seen Young Frankenstein and that seems to work out alright. A man who was wrongly imprisoned due to a blind man's eyewitness testimony is suing the city of Chicago. According to AP News, a judge convicted Darian Harris in 2014 in connection with the fatal shooting at a Southside gas station in 2011. He was 12 years into a 76-year prison sentence when he was freed in December after the exoneration project showed that the eyewitness had advanced glaucoma and lied about his eyesight issues. The Chicago Tribune reported that Harris filed a federal civil rights lawsuit in April, alleging police fabricated evidence and coerced witnesses into making false statements. He told the newspaper that he is still struggling to put his life back together. He said, "I don't have any financial help. I'm still treated like a felon, so I can't get a good job, and it's hard for me to get into school. I've been so lost. I feel like they took a piece of me that's hard to get back." Harris was 18 when he got arrested, and a legally blind eyewitness picked Harris out of a police lineup and identified him in court. The eyewitness testified that he was riding a motorised scooter near the gas station when he heard gunshots and saw a person aiming a handgun. He also added that the shooter bumped into him, and Harris's trial attorney asked the witness if his diabetes affected his vision. He said yes, but denied he had vision problems. But the man's doctor deemed him legally blind 9 years before the incident. Not only that, the gas station attendant also testified that Harris wasn't the shooter. Americans do seem to love a conviction no matter what the evidence. The clue is in the title, Eyewitness. Surely the C&I dog and the big stick with a ball in the end gave it away. A UK paranormal expert claims the UK is running out of ghosts. According to the Daily Star, paranormal expert and author Dr. Paul Lee believes the UK has been running out of ghosts as aging spirits are currently dormant or have moved on to the other side. The paranormal researcher said since January 2020, he's been contacting all the reportedly haunted locations on his app and asking the residents, owners or staff if they've experienced any unexplained activity. He further said, "So far, I've had almost 800 replies, and even some supposedly highly haunted places like Coningsborough Castle in South Yorkshire, the Ettington Park Hotel in Stratford, and Fortnum and Mason in Piccadilly say they haven't experienced anything in the last few years." He suggested it could be that a spirit had a natural source of energy to begin with, which has dwindled away over time, leaving them without the reserves to manifest anymore. However, Dr. Lee, who comes from Fairstead in Norfolk and holds a PhD in nuclear physics, offered a glimmer of hope, stating, "It may be that ghosts can be recharged. Sounds like the Ghostbusters are doing a great job then. So, if there's something strange in your neighbourhood, then it's probably just a commoner garden serial killer, murdering your gran and stabbing her cat directly in the face. Just go back to sleep, it's fine." A really fussy eater spent £300 in extra luggage fees. According to the Daily Mail, John Phillips, 40 years old, took 21 pot noodles, 86 bags of crisps, 2 packs of bacon, a pack of 30 sausages, cans of tuna, a block of cheese, and brown sauce. This is on top of his wife Rebecca, 29, adding an extra 30 club biscuit bars, 16 bags of sweets, and breakfast bars. The man's wife began packing the dried goods for John 3 years ago, when he refused to eat anything but chips during their trips abroad. Look at this weapon. Turkey teeth alright, but not food from Turkey, eh? That is obscene. Oh, and he also takes his George Foreman grill. Why would you get with someone so fussy? I mean, sure, I've only ever eaten the same Mighty Meaty with extra tomato sauce since I've been able to order Domino's, and if we ever stray from semi-skim milk, there will be a family inquiry. But this is weird, I mean, it's almost like sleeping with the same person forever. A flight to Melbourne had to be aborted due to a man running nude in the aisle. According to City News, Australian federal police officers arrested the disruptive passenger after Virgin Flight VA696 returned to Perth Airport on Monday night, a spokesman said on Tuesday. The AFP responded to a request for assistance from airline staff. Officers arrested a man after he allegedly ran naked through the aircraft mid-flight and knocked a crew member to the floor. The man was then taken to hospital for medical assessment, where he remains, and charges are being finalised, and the man is expected to appear in Perth Magistrates Court on June 14th. What's wrong with a bit of in-flight nudity? I'd go further and make nudity compulsory. Maybe a stripper pole, perhaps private booths and oil wrestling. Shucks. I think I'm just describing the private jet of Donald Trump. An 81-year-old has been arrested on suspicion of terrorising his neighbourhood for years with a slingshot. According to the Orange County Register, Prince Raymond King of Azusa was arrested after police served a search warrant on his home in the 900 block of North Enid Avenue on Thursday, May 23rd, and found a slingshot and ball bearings. How many ball bearings King had inside his home was not provided. Police Lieutenant Jake Bushy said officers learned over a lengthy investigation that dozens of people were victimised for about a decade by a serial slingshot shooter who broke windows, windshields, and almost hit people. Bushy said on Saturday he wasn't sure how King was identified, but detectives learned that most of the ball bearings were shot from his backyard, with others launched from a nearby neighbourhood. Why he did it is unknown. Bushy further said, "We're not aware of any kind of motive other than just malicious mischief," adding that the shots were not random, but he said he did not know why certain properties or people were targeted. How can an 81-year-old still see enough to have any aim? A mate of mine is 60 now and he can barely see the corners of the roads he drives on. Still, he only carries dead people in his hearse. It's not like they can get any deader if he crashes, is it? North Korea has sent balloons to South Korea entirely filled with rubbish. According to the BBC, North Korea has dropped at least 260 balloons carrying rubbish into South Korea, prompting authorities to warn its residents to stay indoors. South Korea's military also cautioned the public against touching the white balloons and the plastic bags attached to them because they contained filthy waste and trash. North and South Korea have both used balloons in their propaganda campaigns since the Korean War in the 1950s. And South Korea's military had earlier said it was investigating whether there are any North Korean propaganda leaflets in the balloons. And South Korea's military have also condemned the act as a clear violation of international law. They said, "It seriously threatens the safety of our people. North Korea is entirely liable for what happens due to these balloons, and we sternly warn North Korea to immediately stop this inhumane and crass action." I'm sure many people defected from the decadent South after that effort. Wonder what the leaflet said. Come to the north and you too can have a pile of cigarette butts, toilet paper and excrement. Oh, whoopee then, I'll just give up my iPhone and world freedom. Where do I sign? A Michigan man attends court via Zoom for driving while suspended. Whilst driving, whilst suspended. According to the Daily Mail, the footage for a Michigan court hearing went viral after the defendant, Corey Harris, who has a suspended license, that's the important bit, joined the Zoom call while clearly behind the wheel. District Judge Cedric Simpson of Ann Arbor is seen in the video reacting with disbelief as Harris dials in. His seatbelt visible across his torso and his car obviously in motion. The judge said, "Mr. Harris, are you driving?" Harris responded with, "Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office. So just give me 1 second, I'm parking right now." The footage then showed the legal teams in shock, while those at the back of the room did their best to stop laughing. The judge then asked Harris if he was stationary, to which he replied, "Just give us a second." Mr. Harris's public defender, in an attempt to lessen his client's balls up, requested an adjournment for possibly up to 4 weeks if the court would allow. But the judge said, "Okay, so maybe I don't understand something. This is a driving whilst license suspended case, and he was just driving and he didn't have a license." And the man's own lawyer said, "That is correct, Your Honour." The judge said, "I don't even know why he would do that. The defendant's bond is revoked in this matter, and the defendant is to turn himself in to county jail by 6 p.m. today." Then Mr. Harris was actually shocked. This is either complete stupidity, possible, or the most legendary move ever. Like chopping someone up whilst being accused of murder. Sure, he's going to lose the case, but prison cred like that you just can't buy. He'll be like a modern day Jesus in there. A 65-year-old is suing Madonna after they claim they were forced to watch simulated sex acts during her concert. According to The Independent, Justin Lapels filed a lawsuit in California court, claiming that he should have been warned about the content of the 65-year-old star's show before attending the concert. He alleges that neither he nor other concertgoers knew what to expect ahead of the show. The lawsuit states that the concert started more than an hour and a half late. Madonna was lip-syncing during parts of the show, and the air conditioning was turned off, creating an uncomfortable environment for the audience, which resulted in some people becoming physically ill. He further alleges that the singer asked for the air conditioning to be turned off and told people to strip down to beat the heat. Is a green face sexy now? And on the sexual acts front, the man asserts that he and others were subjected to pornography without warning and forced to watch topless women on stage simulating sex acts. He further said, forcing consumers to wait hours in hot, uncomfortable arenas and subjecting them to pornography without warning is demonstrative of Madonna's flippant disrespect for her fans. The man is asking for a refund for his tickets and/or profits from the show, and he's also seeking a jury trial in this case. Oh no, he was forced to watch topless women on stage simulating sex acts. What an awful problem. All those 20-something, bright, perky, athletic dancers just being topless and sexy. What is the world coming to, eh? I can't stand up now, I'm so shocked. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe if you do so fancy. Also, if you think there's any news that we might have missed, please get in contact on the email in the description below. It's under here somewhere below. See you next time for another jam-packed news you might have missed. Stay gravy.